guys, welcome back to my podcast, and you're listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. And I just want to say Happy New Year's, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful New Year's. And today I have a special guest. His name is Morris. Say hey.
What's happening?
How are you?
Good, you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for coming in and being a part of my podcast. I do really appreciate it. So, I had an episode with my daughter Taline, and I had an episode with my co-worker's son Xavier, and he talked about being raised without his dad, and Taline talked about being raised without her dad and how it affects them. But I don't want it to seem like we're bashing men or fathers. So I have Morrison today, and he's going to talk about his experience, wanting to be a part of his child's life, the experiences he goes through, what holds him back from being a wonderful dad, or, all that good stuff. So I want to hear a guy's point of view on how he feels. So let's start off. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
31 years old, from Leesburg, Florida, born in Eustis, Florida. Been over there since I was 10. Been over here for about 21 years in Orlando, Florida. So pretty much well-rounded guy, very diverse. So that's pretty much it on my end. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Right. Okay, that's what's up. So, I think I asked this question, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it on record. Are you a full-time single dad, or do you co-parent?
I co-parent.
Okay. And how was that experience for you?
For the most part, it's fun. You see your son on an agreement of every other weekend or every month or whatever the case may be. It's a good time when you have it, but sometimes it can be a little challenging.
Right.
From the fact that, sometimes you want to every other weekend, you want to see him as much as possible. As a man, you're going to play your role and make sure you're doing your due diligence and, upholding the standards of a man and being a father to make sure you're there for him. And sometimes you don't really have the opportunity. You may, have plans or whatever the case may be. They may divert you from, completing your goals as far as a father, like, hey, I need to spend some time with him, or I need to teach him this, so make sure he's on point with his schoolwork, from a man's perspective. So at times it can be definitely challenging, but for the most part, I enjoyed it, I loved it, I wouldn't change it for the world.
How old is your son?
He's 6.
Wow, that's a good age. So I guess basically what I'm taking from that, there are some pushback in the co-parenting situation, which doesn't allow you to have your son as much, or maybe some stuff intervene with your time.
It can happen. That's just not for me, just to be anybody. Any man that want to be in his son's life, it can come to a perspective where, he may want to get a son but can't get him because, the counterpart, thinks that his mother may want to say, oh, he has plans, or, he may want to go to his birthday parties, but for some reason as a man, you let him say, okay, let him go have fun. But at the same time, a man, especially a black man in America, you want to definitely leave your blueprint on him.
Right.
What's right, what's wrong, and make sure that he does everything he's supposed to do and represent you as a man in this world. So
that's facts right there. So what are some of the struggles you face being a part of his life?
For the most part, of course, the 6-year-old, his span is short, but I can handle that. I got plenty of patience to deal with that. I understand as a kid, he's new to this world, so you gotta deal with certain things as far as a kid and where his attention span and where his mind is at, what he's thinking. But for the most part, raising him, me and him one-on-one, has been great when I do have him. But the only thing challenging I do have is, the fact that the time spent, and I would say, as far as the agreements that I have with his mother. For the most part, that's been kind of challenging for the definitely since he's been born. But for the most part, I just want to play my role as a parent, as a father, and make sure he's good from my perspective.
Okay, that's what's up. And do you think when fathers aren't a part of their children's lives, most times the moms are to blame? Like, do you think sometimes moms can be a little bit overbearing or hold on to things that, like, maybe relationship-wise?
Absolutely. It's a 50-50 chance, because I'm not in a situation of trying to bash women or any women that do that. I'm just, put my experiences out, what I've seen, what I've heard, and I talk to guys as well too, kind of cope and gotta get an idea of
Mm-hmm.
how we deal with this. I'm in a male group for single fathers, and we talk all day, every day,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of give each other advice and uplifting situations. Like, hey man, everything will be right. Just have faith and pray on it.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I would say it's 50-50 because there's some fathers that don't care for their kids,
Right.
and there's some fathers that want to be there. And for the most part, it's always the guys that that want to be in a kid's life that always catches the bad end of the stick, and they always like, dang, I just want to spend some time with my son or my daughter or whatever the case may be. And for situations, it could be, she either still hurt or she, want to still be with that, still be with you.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it is from the counterpart perspective, because at the same time, the male will just want to move on and take care of his kid. But for the most part, is that, it's always the counterpart as of lately.
Right. And I one of the questions here, because I mean, like I'm not gonna say it's all the time, but I feel like you said, you have women out there that are excellent moms and deserve to have like that.
Absolutely.
Even if you're not gonna be together, just to have that parent, the other parent that's gonna be there and do what they have to do, in the situation. And I just feel like most times, like the girls that are out there wilding and doing extra stuff, they are the ones that get the trying men, the men that's trying to be a good father, like just be there, for their children. And then the women that are not about that life, the ones that's running the streets or whatever, they're the ones that get the people, and then the ones that deserve to have them, they don't.
That's one thing I don't really understand. Like, why does the fathers that want to be there catches hell versus the guys that don't want to be there, they always get, hey man, he want to see you or she want to see you. I'm like, I never, got a chance to grasp on, like, why does that happen?
I think it's the choices we make. I think, and sometimes, like, for me personally, I have two girls, and I think when I look at men that I've dated, you can see, I don't know for you, but you can see up front if that person is going to be a stand-up guy. Even if you don't have kids yet, you can see a thing. Like, you already have a kid.
Right. And
what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, I think what people do is they feel like, oh, if we have a child, it's going to be different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might not be doing what he's supposed to do. You meet him, you fall for the person, y'all dating, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do as a father to children they already have.
Right.
I think what people do, they feel like they're different. Like, I'm different, so at the end of the day, he's not doing for that child, but he's going to do for my child.
Right.
I think people need to really look at the red flags. Like, look at the things that are happening. We make these choices feeling like we're going to be different or it's going to be different, but you see who you're dealing with up front. And I feel like people dismiss that.
Right.
Even if they don't have a child, there are still characteristics I feel like people have that you can see exactly who this person is.
But that's kind of hard because, I've been on plenty of dates, especially his mother, and I'm not bashing her when I say this, and I'm saying this as a general perspective of what I've been to, and this is nothing but experiences. It's hard to identify who a person really is across the dinner table. You ask all these questions, not in an interview perspective, but it's in a, hey man, I want to invest my time with you. I didn't know who you are as a person. Right. What's your background like? Is your mama and your daddy together, because, I have envisioned myself since I got your number, whatever type of communication. I got your email, your Instagram, whatever the case may be. But for me, I get phone numbers. I always envision myself when I see a person that I'm really interested in. Can I see this person having my baby? Do we have a wedding? And I start to think, like, does she have what it takes? Just based on what I see. And I feel like, I got the confidence go, approach this woman, I will do that. If I don't, I'm going to keep it moving. Right. But for the most part, it's kind of hard to identify who's across that dinner table at the first approach.
Yeah, at the first approach. Hard. But it to me, it's not about the first approach. Because I feel like the first few months, I would say 6 months to a year, people show you who they want you to see. But
by then, it's too late because maybe, based off nowadays, intercourse has already happened. Either protected or unprotected. Soul ties have happened. Feelings has happened. All these things has happened. Maybe we moved in together. Maybe we spent some money together. Maybe I helped him pay a bill. So we're entitled automatically. So now it's like, oh, so where we go from now? Now we got a baby on the way. Now you realize, oh wow, damn, I didn't realize who this person was 6 months ago. Now we got a baby on the way. That's just how things is nowadays, and it shouldn't be, but it is what it is. That's how some people move. But I had to learn the same way. Either it was hard or easy, but at the same time, that's just something I just went through, and when I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Now I gotta do what I gotta do for my son now.
Right. But what I'm trying to get at though, early in the game, we do see things, red flags. It could be simple. And it could be something that's so simple, but you reflect on it. You reflect on it like, damn, did she just, or did he just? But you know what? You push it to the side. I think that's what it is. We push things to the side. It could be something simple. I mean, I can't even think of an example of a simple situation, but it could be something so simple, but it's still a red flag, something that you see that can be a problem. Okay, let's say, for example, you go to the house for the first time, and it's trashy, it's messy, and you looking around.
It's a huge red flag.
I mean, it's a huge red flag, but I know a lot of people that dismiss that red flag. They look past it like, well, maybe she had an off day or whatever. I don't know. But it be some simple stuff. That's just an example that people look past and continue to mess with the person.
With people, you gotta leave room for error. Everybody ain't perfect, As far as how you take care of your house, that's a whole different level. That's an automatic, flag on the play. We gotta talk about this, like, what is this? But for the most part, but you gotta leave error for room for people to make. Everybody ain't perfect. So I kind of get what you're coming from. But at the same time, it's like I need to know who you are at the dinner table. I need to know how you are, how you was raised, and as far as so I can know. You know what? If I can have a baby with you, I can trust you.
Super
and
important.
From there, then we can build something, an empire together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's super important. I mean, to touch base on Cassie's episode, I feel like why we are put in these predicaments is because we don't take the time to get to know people.
Right.
We don't take the time. We rush into everything. And I feel like some people don't feel this way, but I feel like sex clouds things. Say we meet, we have sex, say 2-3 weeks down the line. Within the 2-3 weeks, or even after the 2-3 weeks, now you're in the 4th week and you see mad stuff that you don't like, but because you've already been intimate, maybe it's the bomb. You looking at like, you know what? I don't like that, but shit, the sex is good, so we just gonna keep it moving.
Exactly,
and that is the biggest mistake. That is why a lot of people get caught up in situations they don't want to be in, because you get clouded. And then once you're clouded, it's hard to look past, or it's hard to not judge the things that's going on that you don't like. Because at this point, you done been intimate, you like it, y'all having a good time. And then when it gets stale, 6 months to a year down the line, when you're clear now, because y'all out that cloud, and you looking like, damn, he always had that birthmark on his chest. I don't like that.
Exactly.
But because you already done cloud your judgment.
The damage been done.
The damage is done, and I think that's where a lot of us are falling short. We're not getting to know the people that we're choosing to be with, and because of that, it'd be too late. Because 6 months or a year done went. Now you pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's not a judgmental thing. I feel like it's more of a situation where we need to slow down and take our time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And with that, it will give us a clearer understanding of who is in our lives, and if they're really somebody we want to be with, whatever. Right. But that's just my take on it. I just feel like I'm guilty. You know what I'm saying? I'm guilty too. Like not taking the time to get to know people, then you get caught up and end up in situations that you feel like, damn, I didn't even want this. But by the time you figure that out, it's too damn late. You done caught up.
Yep.
But do you agree? So I'm assuming you agree with that saying: women who deserve good fathers get deadbeat dads, and the nasty women get the men that are trying. So you agree with that?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to agree with that, because what it is nowadays. I wish, everything could be easy, as it could be, but counterparts just have disagreements or upbringings or whatever the case may be that play a role in raising that child. And now, it's a point where the deadbeats get all the time in the world, but they don't take advantage of that opportunity.
Right.
But as far as the guys that want to be there, we always get a bat in the stick. Like,
right.
We always don't get that time. We don't get that right. I don't say bat in the stick. I'm gonna say that right.
Right.
From that perspective. But it sucks. But it is what it is. It's life. But you just gotta do the best you can. And the only way to handle it is go to court and let that man definitely make that decision.
Yeah. I mean, I say it's hard, but I say keep fighting, because you have some men that feel like they give up and they say, oh, when the child turns 18, I can explain, or when they become old enough, I can explain. It's no explanation in the world to explain.
By that time, it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late.
There's nothing to explain.
And that's why
the child would appreciate the fight over you giving up, because you just gave up on your child, and then you feel like your words are going to be able to fix.
Nah, not at all. It's never going to fix the situation. You always want to take it early, like for hypothetically right now.
Right.
My son's 6. I'm catching it early, so right now I need to execute and do what I gotta do to make sure I get my rights, and not wait till he's 10, 13. Like, damn, why my dad ain't here? Like, where he at? Like, why he, why he ain't called? Or what's going on? Like, why am I not seeing my dad as much as I want to? I need him. Like, I need leadership. I don't want leadership from this guy or my mom's new boyfriend or the pastor or the youth pastor. I need to talk to my father.
Right.
I need to talk to him. So, just the imagination of having another man raising your son, or another man leading your son in the right, even though it's in the right direction, as the biological father, that has to affect to a point. Like, dang, that could have been me if I would have stepped up, or if I would have, went ahead and did what I had to do and get money up and make sure I take care of my lawyer. And, hey man, let's go fight the case. I need to go see my son. I need joint custody. I need to make sure I have my blueprint when I'm going dead and gone. My son knows what my father was a great man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
I mean, important.
And I commend you for that, because we need more men to step. I mean, I understand, like, nothing in life is easy. So yes, sometimes you will have that baby mom that's a bitch, or you will have that baby father that don't want to do what he have to do. But you got to keep fighting for the child, because listening to what my daughter has to say, how she feels, listening to that young man Xavier when he's saying how he feels, you know what I'm saying? You don't want your child to feel like that.
Right.
And it's nothing you can do when it's something you literally can't protect your child from.
Right.
It's the most hurtful, because I can't protect her from that hurt. Right. I can't protect. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter how I step in to show her, like, Taleen, you got me. You don't have to worry about it. It's not enough, because they know that other parent is there, and they know that there's a role that they need to be playing in their lives.
Absolutely. And shout out to Xavier, man. I definitely heard that podcast. I want to give him a quick shout out. Hey, man, you are a very strong young man. Keep pushing. I'm glad you said one key thing. You said, I'm not going to let the relationship I had with my dad, that I never was not going to hold me back from what the man I could be in the future. Right. So shout out to him for that. He's a strong young man. I definitely see the same similarities as in me, as I was as his age. Yeah,
that was it was good hearing a young man's point of view. His mom, teared up a little bit, because, just hearing, they don't talk, how it is with teenagers. You don't really talk about stuff like that. So I was so happy that he was so excited to be a part of it.
Right on.
And I think that, even Ramona, she even came to me, she said she thanked Alina for allowing him to do the podcast, because as a female raising a son, these kids, they don't talk to you about stuff. So even though you think or even though you ask them, they don't express.
Right.
So it was good to hear a teenager express how he feels, what his struggles are, what he was battling, how he defeated it, all those things. Right. So, and like you said, shout out to Xavier, and I really appreciate him coming in as well. So, just to get onto some more of these questions, do you feel the differences between you and your son's mom is affecting your son?
Absolutely. There's a difference in as far as upbringing. I see it from her perspective. It's a good cop, bad cop, not good in my perspective, because you both need to have that same respect.
Right.
You know, when he's around me, I have to redirect him. In other words, I have to constantly repeat myself. And it's okay. I got patience in the world. It's just my time with them. I'm not going to trip. I'm not going to raise my voice unless I have to. Depends on the severity of the situation. Versus with his mom, and I see how that is.
Right.
She says one time or twice, he quits, or whatever the wrong thing he's doing. So I kind of figured that, like, wait a minute. So he kind of, get his act together when you, but with me, I gotta tell him 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 times. And I try to communicate, hey man, that bad cop it's a good idea, but it's not working for me. Because when I have him, redirection. I have to constantly tell him things, but it's okay. Like I said, I got patience all over the world, but for the most part, we have to come to some type of plan where I get the same respect he has for you, and I haven't said this or voiced his opinion because I know things can get heightened. But I told her, like, I want to tell her is that, if I was to tell you that fact that by me not having him as much, so I can have some type of authority over him as much, I'm not going to have that same type of reaction that you're going to have.
Right.
As a parent, the fact that you tell them once, they take me about 6 times to tell MJ, hey, Daddy that's not right what you're doing.
Right.
And it does affect in that situation. But for the most part, like I said, it's a good time raising him, and it's always a memory, or I try to create a fun time I'm with him and whenever I'm with him. But for the most part, that's the only thing I have, the only struggle I have.
Do you think, now that I'm just, because I don't know much about you, you're fairly new to the job, and then you're super new to the team, and then you sit super far from me, so we have no dialogue at all.
Right on.
But do you think that respect factor, or do you think that could be, okay, he's not with you all the time.
Right.
So you don't want to be, do you think you hold back from being stern, and so he feel like, well, maybe I could walk over with Daddy because Daddy might not be as stern? Do you think that could be the case where you're not really full on, like, reprimanding how you want to because he's not with you all the time?
See, with him, I try to let him slide with some things. Like, son, that's not okay. Or that's not cool. You should do this. I shouldn't have to repeat myself multiple times to tell you one thing. I know you get tired of me telling you the same thing and you feel bad, but it's the point where I'm telling you the same thing. If you do it right the first time, you don't have to hear me the second, third, and fourth, and fifth time. Like how my mom raised me and my dad raised me.
Right.
If I tell you the first time, that's how I want it to be done, plain and simple.
Right. So you don't feel like you lax on him a little bit? I
give him some type of, like I said, a room for error. I kind of let him slide because I shouldn't do this, but I do it. You shouldn't,
because kids, they take that and they run with it.
My thing is, I try to play the best friend role with him.
Right, and I sense that.
And I tell him, like, all right, you already had 2 cookies, you're not getting no more. All right, MJ, go get another cookie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Try to build that with him. Try to get some of what I've missed in the past based off me not having them much as I want.
Right.
I try to, hopefully this will get some of that back. But by him telling me that he loves me every 10 minutes and telling me that he checking someone me like, hey Dad, are you okay? You good? And at 6, are you looking like, what do you mean? Am I good? Like, who taught you this lingo? But for the most part, that let me know I'm doing all right. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm holding my standards when he was born. So
okay, and let me see. I'm trying to see where I want to go with this. So you did mention your dad. Were you raised with both parents, or were you in a single parent home?
Single parent home.
Okay.
As far as your previous podcast with Xavier, I feel the pain where he's coming from, so I kind of could relate. But as a child coming up, like I said, we got similarities.
Right.
I threw hands too. I fought, but not for the sense of me acting out.
Right.
Some people try to bully me.
Right,
I was quiet. I did my work.
Right,
Try me, get me wrong. You finna catch these hands. That's what it was.
Right.
But for the most part, I had a close knit brother and sister. With all of them, all 6 of them.
Okay.
So we always was there for each other because in my household, our fathers wasn't there. So it was like an unsaid rule or unsaid thing that we gonna be close.
Right.
My father's not here. My mom working 3 to 4 jobs, making it happen. You know, let's stick together.
Right.
So that's the closeness I got with all of my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean?
Right.
As my upbringing, he wasn't there as much. Like, I don't know the severity of the situation. I don't know if my mom gave him a hard time. My dad just didn't want to be there. He was out there, you know, being a Rolling Stone. But for the most part, is that, you know, my brothers and sisters kept us together.
Right.
All of us.
That's good.
And, you know, play hide and seek in the dark. You know what I mean? But it's just the fun times we had, you know, whatever the case may be. And they make me forget, where's my dad at? You know, why I can't see him, I can't talk to him.
So did you block out the effects of him not being there?
I understood, because when I talked to him, he's like, Daddy gotta work. But when he come in town, we have a ball. He'll bring me to Orlando. We'll go to Disney World. You know, whatever the case may be. I meet his new girlfriend that he may want to marry. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's a lot of memories with that. But for the most part, it was a good time. It's all good memories with him. You know what I mean? That's so for the most part, I'm always gonna love him, respect him no matter what. If he wasn't there as much I wanted him to be, I needed him to be. But like I said, my brothers and sisters came through with that and make sure I was good.
Okay. And so, why is it so important for you to keep fighting for your son? Like, fighting for the rights? Like, what do you want him to know? Like,
I want him to know that as a man, you gotta do right. As a black man, you know, you gotta live our life a little bit different. You gotta do things a little bit differently. Life ain't always gonna be fair. You know, and that's why it's my job to teach him that. Like, I'm not saying I got all the tools. You know, I know everything under the sun, but I won't give him my knowledge. If I can give him shoes, I can give him every toy in the world. But, and most importantly, with my son, I need to give him knowledge.
Right.
So that's why it's important for me to give him that. So that's why it's extremely important to fight for your rights. Either you're having a hard time seeing your son as much as possible, go for it. You got to do that as much as possible. I mean, it's a lot of things you want to be there for him, because you don't want another man giving his, and you don't know his upbringing or whatever the case may be. So it's just best that you just go hard and make sure, you know, you got to make sure your son is on point going forward in his life, because sometimes you're not always going to be there.
Right. And I feel like for the dads that's out there that's absolutely trying, that are getting pushback, like, at the end of the day, instead of saying when they get to a certain age, you'll explain to them, show them. Be there along the way and show them, like, the fight. Like, show them the fight. Yo, I'm fighting for you. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to remember that. Just like they're going to remember you not being there, they're going to remember you fighting to be there. Absolutely. And I think it's very important for the men to keep fighting, you know, and it's messed up, ladies. It's messed up. We need to stop. Like, move on. The children shouldn't have to suffer because of our own selfish reasons. I thank God every day that I'm just not that type of person. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna keep my child away from their dads. I allow my daughters to get the perspective that they build their own perspective.
Absolutely.
Of who their father is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna bash him or explain to her what I feel like I want her to know. I want her to create, which my oldest, because the baby's 3, so of course, you know, she's obviously not in that age to kind of like put it together, even though thankfully her dad is there. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he's supposed to do. But as far as the oldest, like, I wanted her to create her own image, because I don't want, at the end of the day, because when you get older, it's also resentment to the mom when you realize that my mom is the reason why my dad wasn't there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing with my son. I don't want you to hate your mother for what we've been through or whatever hurt she got. Love her regardless, you know, because I've been in situations where, you know, for me, I just found out from a whole different perspective that I was given for adoption. Had no clue. It was a family secret. Had no clue. So my dad told my son's mom, my son used that as a tool to hurt me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So I called my dad, and he was like, I'm gonna call you back. And then I talked to my mom, and we had the conversation. She wasn't happy. She was very emotional about it, and you know, and I cared. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use this, and I know my son is gonna be like, Dad, like, why is mom the way she is?
Right.
And I'm like, you know what, son, it is what it is. It's life. It's a part of life. Everyone's not gonna be peaches and cream, or everybody's not gonna be nice. You know, you got to take life for what it is. Some people are not gonna be nice.
Right.
So for the most part, my thing is, he's gonna get older and realize like what's going on here.
Right.
And you know, then I'm gonna tell him like, it's your mother, just love her. Be there for as much as you can. I tried it, you know, but for the most part, you know, don't hate anyone. Just be like, you know, just accept and love someone for what it is, no matter what. You know what I mean? So that's what I took from that situation and kind of let me use this tool, because eventually he's gonna see like, my dad loves me. He want to be there for me.
Exactly.
And I don't want to hate my other parent. I don't need. My thing is, I'm trying to teach him to love, no matter what we've been through.
Right.
I'm not perfect, but I damn sure I do the best I can for my son. But make sure that you love both parents equally, no matter what. You know what I mean? So that's just my perspective.
I mean, and that's true. But at the end of the day, it's still, when they find out the truth,
right?
It's still, because we're all human, so it's still gonna be her. Like, of course, it's his mom, or not just him personally, but it's your mom, like, or that's your dad. So you're gonna love them, but finding out the truth always hurts, and it always affects people some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess when it comes to that point where the truth is exposed, or they're old enough to understand the truth,
right,
it's just going to be something they have to deal with, you know, on their own. But again, ladies, we need to stop out here in these city streets, because it's not fair to these children. It's not fair for men that give women pushback. It's not fair to the women that give the men pushback. It's not fair. And it's ugly. Like, let people move on with their lives. It just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, has any of these experiences led you to any type of being depressed?
Absolutely. I've been, as a man, like, you know, how nowadays is that we're taught, especially black men, walk it off, get over it, you'll be alright, you're a man, so what? But, you know, at the same time, you know, and I don't mean to come off as a soft guy, but I'm just being real when I say this.
Right.
You know, we have mentals, we have feelings, we have a heart too, so we hurt as much as you do. Well, not as much, but we hurt too, and we hurt differently. Right. So it's like, for us to deal with certain situations, we may react or do certain things differently. You know, I've been in situations I was depressed, like, dang, like, I hope my son don't hate me for this, because I don't know what his mom is telling him, or the case may be. So I'm just hoping, like, it ain't what it is, or another family member telling him, I don't know, whatever the case may be. But I've been in situations I was depressed for a while. I was pretty much like a zombie. Thinking about, like, I just want to spend some time with my son, and just hope and pray, like, you know, when you see me, it's not like
I hate you.
I don't hate you. I don't like you. Or why am I here with you? It's more of a, Daddy, you're my hero. I love you. I miss you. What's going on? You know what I mean? So, you know, that's pretty much what it is with that.
Yeah, depression is serious out here. Like, I feel like you said, for men, sometimes they try to dismiss it. But, I mean, we all go through it. How did you deal with it? Like, if you're not currently going through it, how did you deal with it? How did you get yourself out of that place?
Pray and faith. Like, everything will be all right. For me, I caught him early. He's young, so he's not gonna remember a lot. He has good memory, but he's not gonna remember a lot. So I try to, you know, hope and pray. Like, you know, ask God, like, hey man, this is what I want. I'm gonna need your help on this. Have my back. Keep giving me the notes and the strength. I can make this happen. As far as going to court and make things, get the ball rolling, so I can live my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not to worry. But for the most part, that's just what it is. Prayer, faith, and just hope that everything's going to be all right. You know, as long as you keep communication with your son, either phone calls, FaceTime, whatever the case may be, let him know that you're there, that you have his back. That, hey man, I'm with you. Whatever you do, you got basketball practice or football practice, I'm there with you. I can't be there. I may be working, or I may not know that you've been playing the sport. But just know Daddy love you, and, you know, I'm proud of you.
Right, so that's what's up. I commend you. It feels so good to speak with someone that is trying to be that leading role in their child's life, because I don't know, I was listening to a video the other day, and the guy was like, yo, it's like in the black community, not saying that the black men are not a part of their kids' lives.
Yeah.
But he was like saying, like, as soon as you could be in a relationship for 5 years, and as soon as you have a child, it's like the run, like, you know what I'm saying, like,
absolutely,
you know, it's like an instant like thing, like, oh my, she's pregnant, and it's like the relationship goes south, south, and it's crazy.
And what happens with that is that, you know, the real you come out. You know, when it comes to having babies with counterpart, or as a whole, as a kingdom, that's what I would call it. I compare it to buying a house. Mm-hmm. You know, you view a house, you get to know the house, make sure all the utilities work, the lights work, mm-hmm. the windows go up and down, the AC work, the stove work, but you don't know that house till you actually live in it. Right. Has a house have somebody died in it? Does the house has ghosts? Right. Does the house has a rodent problem or a bug problem? Right. Same perspective as far as getting to know someone. You don't know someone until you live with them, until you have a baby. Right. The real them who actually come out and be like, I didn't know this person was 6'9" a year ago. So I don't know if the person put on the front or trying to win me. You won, but you're not who I thought you was at that dinner table when I first met you, when I got your number. Who was you?
That's why I said it's so important. It's so important for us to slow down, like,
I so agree.
And not rush into everything, because I feel like I'm currently in a friendship relation. I don't even know what to call it.
Right.
But this is the first time I've been faced with a person that is wanting to kind of like get to know me, like legitly. Who are you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not like a rush to do certain things, because it's like, I legitimately just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
And it was the hardest concept for me. Like, wait, do you like me, or what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it's something foreign. You meet somebody you already know. They try, even if you're not ready, they trying to get in them. Yo, so what's good? You know what I'm saying? Like, they trying to talk you into it. But now, dealing with somebody that's kind of like, let me get to know you a little bit, and, you know, see if you're even who I want to be with, or if I even really like you like that. And I'm looking like, huh? Like, what? You sure? Okay. And I'm telling you, it was so hard. It was so hard, because it was like, you so used to rushing into everything. Now, when you're in a slower paced situation, you don't, like, I don't even know how to act. I don't know how to respond. Right. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Like, okay, so, all right, you know. But as the time is going, I'm starting to see how great that is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm legitimately getting to know somebody.
Right.
Like, and it's perfect timing in my life too, because I've been through a lot myself, and it's kind of like helping me with the steps, with making steps to get to know who I am. Mm-hmm. And I was always, like I said in previous episodes, I didn't know who I was outside of a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm not dating anyone, I mean, like, okay, then what's life now? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I took the time, like, all right, boom, Kasha, you've been doing the same stuff. You meet people, it goes south, this, that. And the reason why it goes south is because legitimately you really didn't know who the person you was dealing with was prior to you dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was like, all right, well, let me try to do something different this time. Let me just relax. Let me get to know who I am. Let me figure things out. And it's like steps that I've been going through. And then meeting this person, it kind of add to the steps, because it was like, okay, so now you're going to learn how to take it easy.
Right.
And kind of like, just let's get to know each other and see if this is what we want, and don't like rush. So I see how important it is now, because I'm clear-headed. You know what I'm saying? Like, my head is clear, and I know, like, okay, boom, okay, I don't like this. I like this, but I'm not too fond of this. But you're good in this area. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to kind of like put the pieces together a little bit, right, and see like where we fit. And I even did something that was so to me was strong because I don't even try to do stuff like that because I be feeling like, all right, you talking about you want space, you know, and then I feel like space creates other things.
Right.
But it was like a situation where I felt like, okay, boom, I like this, but I don't know, and I don't know where he is.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I think we need space to think about what we really want, and that alone is out of character for me. Like space, like what? Like nah, I don't be giving the space because I don't want nothing to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I suggested it, and then on top of suggesting it, because I've suggested space before, I stuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Normally I'd be like, yo, I know I said I want space, but nah, let's not do the space. I ain't comfortable. You know, let's just keep going. You know what I'm saying? But I allowed that space to kind of like continue instead of interrupting it. So, like I said, I didn't explain all that just to say that I feel like that's why we just need to like just get to know people, just get to know them, so that when we get into serious stuff like buying a house or having children or buying a car or whatever it is, saving, traveling, you know who you're dealing with.
Exactly.
And when you do face hard times, you know how to deal with that hard time with that person because you know who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And they know who you are, so they know how you will react to a certain situation because y'all are on that mental level of understanding. So with that being said, how important is mental health to you?
Well, being a human, a man, then of course a black man gotta be strong. It's important to me because I gotta be my mentals, my P's and Q's every day. I step out the door, go to work. You know when you're gonna run to, what situation you're gonna run to. You know, you can't live life's situations, negative situations, deter you from who you are mentally as a person.
Right.
You know, change you as a person. You gotta be who you are.
Right.
Stick to it. So, you know, as far as your psychological and well-being, that gotta be on point.
Yeah.
You know, because that can carry a long weight. Because if that's tainted in any other way based on what you've been through, what you've seen, or what you heard, you're not, you know, who you are, who you say you are.
Right.
You pretty much got your guard up. You can't live like that all day. You can't be living your life in fears of, oh, I don't, you know, want the sky to be purple, but it's blue, you know what I mean? But you gotta, you know, accept life for what it is, you know, prepare for the worst. That's my thing, is pray for the best, but prepare for the worst for the most part. But that's just what it is. Like, you gotta be on point. And it's very, you gotta be very strong mentally every day.
Mental health is super important. You know, like I said, when I tapped into that, it was like I learned things about myself that I never even knew.
Yeah.
You know, like things that I didn't even know. I'm looking at myself like, wow. And just even, it's just an overall, like, I don't know, like having that your mental health in check is like an out of body experience. Like being someone who didn't have their mental health in check, and now learning how important it is to be mentally healthy.
Right.
Being mentally healthy or trying to be mentally healthy is like an out of body experience, you know? But it's super important. So what would you change about your approach when having another child? To be more specific, what are some of the qualities that you are looking for in a female when you are looking at family and buying a home, marriage?
Absolutely. I'm looking for like somebody that's on the same level. It don't gotta be as financial or educational background. As far as my thing is, not even about upbringing. Because upbringing, if you don't have the right upbringing, or not many people that not had the right upbringing, but still able to connect with me mentally, made it far with me. But for the most part, as far as quality, just someone that, you know, that can be honest, open, let me know how you feel. Just play your role as a woman. I'm gonna play my role as a man, as your king. I'm gonna do the best I can and reciprocate the same thing that you showed me, if not 1,000 times more. But for the most part, you know, I pretty much, as far as how my son was born and how I did that situation, even though I was scared as shit.
No, you good.
I was scared as hell. And everybody was like, man, you're happy, you're strong, and I don't see you sweating. I'm in my side, I'm like, you have no idea. I'm scared as hell. I gotta take care of this human being. I gotta be, you know, responsible adult, even at the most peak I can be, as much as I know knowledge wise. But for me at that time it was a scary moment, but you know you learn and how to do things, and like you know what, for my next child I know what to do, what not to do.
Right.
You know, so whoever the next woman gonna be, I always say this to people in general, like you know, my next is my last who I date. That's what it is.
Right.
So I hope whoever the next will be the last, but for the most part, I just want to pretty much play it out the same way how I did with my son. You know, I know what to do. Consistency, love, make sure I always have the back, make sure I play my role as a man, and make sure I provide, and make sure I do what I do as, and make sure my child is good.
Right. So do you feel like your experiences or maybe the relationship with your son's mom or anything, do you feel like it affects your personal and or dating life?
Sorry to laugh. That's a good question. To a certain extent, yes and no. No, because I tell whoever I'm dating or whoever I'm on a date with, this is what it is. Sometimes it can be a little headache, but that's normal, that's life. But at the end of the day, once things get arranged or recorded, you have nothing to worry about. That's if you want to deal with that. My thing is, if I'm dealing with a woman, I give you the choice. Look, this is me. All you get at the table, you're not gonna get nothing different 6 years or months on or years down the line. You're gonna get the same person, if not even more wiser, more smarter in due time. But for the most part, you know, as far as her, you know, she wishes me, you know what, make sure the next be good to my boy, which is good. But for the most part, I know she's gonna get hurt. She's gonna feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm pretty much honest. I let that counterpart know this is what it is. They did have some issues in the past, but we're grown from that, and we're getting better every day, every month, every year. So you don't need to worry about the drama. And the reason I said yes because I know I've dated some females that knew her, and they were like, I don't know if I want to deal with you because she, I'm just gonna leave that blank. However, who listen and however you can take that, it is what it is. But for the most part, they know like, oh wow, like that's her, that's the father. I don't know. And it is cool because they got their choice if they want to deal with me now. You know what I mean? So I kind of like, it's up to you. You know what I mean? But it sucks because, you know, my best friend was telling me years back, like, hey, that you're a good guy. Like, you will go hard for whoever show you love, you reciprocate it back 1 billion times better. But it's like, you're almost like damaged goods because they see they want to be with you, but they don't want to deal with that.
Right.
And it's like, now look, I'm like, dang, you right, because it's like, you know, I'm not hurt or I'm not like trying to get over what I was going through. It's the fact that finally moving on and trying to move on to something more better and have to worry about, is this person going to be okay with this or anything of that nature? And now it's a lot better. She moved on, I moved on, and so, you know, we two happy people individually. She's over there, I'm over here, so, you know, when it all come down to it, she need me, I have her back, you know, anything. You know what I mean? So that's just the type of relationship you currently have.
That's good. So what are some of the goals or lifestyle changes you're looking forward for 2018?
Lifestyle, I'm on this weight loss situation.
Okay.
I'm gonna be strictly just juicing.
Really?
Yes.
You gonna go that hard though?
Yeah, I got to. I gotta put a dent. I gotta lose this Rick Ross stomach. But I gotta lose this stomach so I can get back healthy. Not just me looking good. It's not a ego booster. It's just a lifestyle change.
Right.
You know, I get to live longer.
Right.
And see my son have his sons. His son have his kids. I want to see that before I leave this earth. But my goals next year, put a huge dent in my credit as far as building it, so I can get a house.
Right.
And, you know, and hopefully, you know, move up in the company. But who knows? We'll see.
Okay. Some of my little 2018 goals, I talked about some of them. I left one out because I like my phone, son. I can't with the phone. Like, I be on the phone for no reason. Like,
It'd be like that.
I just, like, literally lost in the phone. Like, one of the things that I want to work on is legitly not touching my phone unless it rings.
Right.
Or unless somebody calls me, not just on the phone scrolling for no reason.
Right. Sound like you need to be over there with QA.
Yeah, I be on that phone just scrolling. Like, just Like, for no reason. I just be bored, but it's like I pick up the phone, but then I lose so much time. Like, sometimes I wake up in the morning on a Saturday morning, I'm laying in the bed, and I'm just scrolling through. And by the time I look, it's like noon, and I'm looking like, damn, I ain't do nothing but was in this bed. So I'm going to try, because I noticed that when I, just, go away from being on the phone, I'm more active doing things, getting stuff done. You know what I'm saying? And I need to, like, step away from touching the phone all the time and just kind of like
mentally,
like do other things.
And you as a person, trust me, it'll
so that's one of the other things. I did a phone cleanse, as I discussed, and I did a closet cleanse. So the phone is one of the things that's a part of the lifestyle change. I don't want to say New Year's resolution, but lifestyle change.
Right on.
What is your message to other dads that are trying to really be a part of their children's lives, but are, it's things that stops them from being great?
Man, keep pushing to be in your children's life or child life. Let them know you got their back, you love them. That goes a long way with them. Don't always buy toys for your children. Create memories with them that they're going to remember. Like, oh man, my dad took me to the park. My dad took me to the library. He read a story to me at night. He told me not to do this, told me not to do that. Give your child tools versus toys, or let them play video games, or watch YouTube on your phone. Is 10 times way better than those other things.
Right.
So, to my fellas out there, man, I just, keep pushing. It is grant. I want to put this out there. It is a grant. I forgot what the website is, and I do apologize. It is a website that pays your court fees and your lawyer fees as far as getting your custody battle. So if y'all want to definitely look into that, Google it, or you want to hit me up on Instagram, I am Marius Day. I can give you that information once I get it in the hand. I can relate it to you, or what the case may be. But it is a grant out there. I found out last year that pays for your lawyer fees as far as you fight custody custody battles or joint custody for your kids. But for the most part, pray for your kids. Show them love. That's the key thing. And just always be there for them no matter what. You know what I mean? So
yes.
That's my message to y'all.
Yes. And what is your message for men that make it bad from the ones that are trying?
The ones that are trying?
Yeah. So what is your message for the men that make it bad for the ones that are trying? Like the ones that are deadbeats.
Y'all have no idea what y'all missing out. I don't know if you're trying to fill a void because you hurt or what you're going through. I promise you, being kids' lives will slow your life down. Some of the characteristics or bad habits that you do, I guarantee will slow down. If you just take responsibility of it. I don't know if you need to seek a higher power who you pray to or whatever the case may be. But my message to you is that being your children's life, I promise you, it'll make you a better and happy man as a person. And for me, it's important that I be remembered as a great father as my son gets older in his old days and I'm long gone. And why not have that offspring represent your name in the greatest way as what you taught them?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
that's what's up. What is your message to your son? So if one day, years down the line, he gets to hold this podcast, what would be your message to him?
To him, be better than me. Represent my last name to the full capacity that you can be. Be as successful as you can be. Be happy. What's in your bank account does not measure your happiness or your success. It measures as far as are you happy with what you're doing, as far as what you're doing in the community or the corporate world, whatever the case may be. Just know wherever I'm at, if I'm still with you in this earth, I'm watching, I love you. Keep pushing. I'm always going to have your back and support. If I'm not here, I'm watching from the stands. I'm cheering on your biggest fan.
And my final question, if you can tell your 14-year-old self something, what would it be?
Man. 14 years old. Man, you about to get in high school. You're already in high school. My message to my younger self at the age of 14 would be, stay in them books. The woman is always going to be there. Don't worry about who's cool, what's not. Don't try to be likable. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Or trying to impress people. Be you. Either they accept you for you, or if they don't, keep it moving. It don't matter. For the most part, Definitely go to college and stay in college. Forget football. Knowledge is better than football. Always have multiple options to do what you want to do in life. For the most part, you're going to need three, I would say three side hustles to keep the hustle going, because as you get older, life will get a lot harder. But at the same time, you have the heart of a hustle. You got your mama's hustling. You got the heart of a lion. Make it happen. But for the most part, be happy.
Yes. Okay, guys. So thanks again for listening. Again, you can email me at thetravelingpantsofasinglemom@gmail.com if you have any questions, concerns, if you want to come on and tell your stories. Or you can follow me on Instagram, The Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. I really enjoy my Traveling Pants page. I try to post daily different things that's going on. As I mentioned on my last episode, I have some trips coming up. So I will be posting some things about my trip, some little, pictures of places that we go. So yeah, check me out. And Morris, what is your Instagram again, just in case anybody wants to?
Instagram is I am Morris Day. I am _ Morris Day. My Facebook is Morris Polo Robinson. My email is morris.robinson32@yahoo.com. As I stated earlier, there is a grant for fighting fathers that want to be a part of child's lives that pay for lawyer fees and court fees. I've seen it, and I just got to sign up. I ain't done it yet. I'm procrastinating. I shouldn't. But it is a way where we can win, fellas. So that's my message to y'all, man. Keep fighting, keep praying, keep being in your child's life, no matter what the case may be. Never let the mother see you sweat. Show consistency in your child's life. You love them, you want to be there for them.
Yes. So if you want to get more information on these grants, make sure you hit him up either via email, Facebook, Instagram, and he will be glad to give you that info. Guys, keep fighting for the ones that are trying. For the ones that are not, you don't know what you're missing, as Morris said. And for the women, we need to stop. Let these men be. Let them live their lives. And for the ones that are not getting what they need, what they deserve it, just keep pushing for your children. As I posted a picture on my Instagram yesterday, I message to my girls: when you are weak, I am strong. Again, my name is Natasha. You're listening to The Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. Love you guys. Oh yeah, thanks Morris. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being a part of my podcast. I almost forgot.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
No problem. Anytime.